Alright, so same day, different video. I'm going to do a quick, semi-quick, a brief, front to back on my boat. A lot of times people want new ideas. I learn from a lot of other people's ideas. So I've gained a lot of insight and ideas and got a lot of help from YouTube. So just going to put this out there. Not saying it's the only way, the best way, it's just my way. And hopefully this will help you. We're going to start the front, work our way to the back. My boat is a TV18. It's a 2002 model made by Tractor. Bought it brand new. They don't make them anymore. Call it a wide, fat-bellied boat. It's not deep like a Targa or a Lund. And if you have one of those boats, that is not a slant. I just don't like them. For me, the deck is up relatively high to the side rails. Plenty of storage. If you're gonna buy one, it's going to have to be a used one. 38-gallon fuel tank. 3 pedestal seats on mine. Alright, so I got a Minn Kota Terrova trolling motor that I have learned to really like. I am 52 years old, and since I was 18, I guess 19, one of the first things I'd done was went and bought a bass boat, and I've had a cable steer from basically 1991 till 2000, I think it was 17 or 18. It's a lot different, and it was a learning curve, but it's not for everybody. If you're a regular bank beater who's always fishing cover and that's all you do, this is probably not the trolling motor for you. But if you're getting older like me, yes, older, or if you take family fishing, or you just like to fish offshore, or I mean, I can fish just fine with this around the bank, in my opinion. It's different, but once I've got used to it, I actually like it a little better. Anyway, so got the Minn Kota trolling motor. Yes, I do. I have forward-facing sonar. I have mixed reviews about that. Anyway, we'll come back to that. So the trolling motor, when you deploy it, to me, it's not really that any different than pulling up with a rope, because I've got a long shaft on mine. I don't have to bend down as far just to reach down and grab it and pull it up. I do have the remote. I do have spot lock. Love both of them. Spot lock is something you have to be careful with because it will spin my cable up the way I had to put it on there. But I do like spot lock. I do like the autopilot, the constant on. The pedal, when I'm fishing just for fun and I've got my pedal on, it's got, I think, like an 18-foot wire, so I could actually get anywhere in the boat with it. But I do like to use my remote control when I've got clients out. I can get all over the boat and not get everybody all tangled up, and I can be at the back of the boat, driving the boat, managing the boat, helping somebody with a fish or a tangle or what have you. One thing, or a couple things I do like about this pedal, I usually fish, especially if it's warm at all, I usually fish barefoot. And all those years standing with a lot of my weight on one leg running the trolling motor was pretty strenuous. At the end of the day, my legs and back and everything would be just wore out. Don't use the pedal a whole lot. You can do it like a traditional pedal, left, that's right, power button. But I really didn't think I would use these, but I use these a bunch because I can power with that button, steer left and right. I can have one foot on each button as I'm fishing, and it works out really good. I do use the autopilot and the constant on a bunch, even when I'm bank fishing. Can put the constant on, kind of get my distance and speed from the bank, and basically just I can focus on fishing and not constantly and being engaged with the trolling motor. And I can just occasionally bump the directions with that on the constant on, and man, it just makes fishing so much easier. If you're 18 to 30, this probably doesn't apply to you, but if you're getting a little bit older, as I am, stuff like that makes a big difference in your day. Something that I guess would be a con to this kind of trolling motor is you lose the feel. When you have a cable steer and you kind of get to learn to know your pedal forward and backwards. You know about where your trolling motor's aimed if you fish a bunch. Well, you don't have that with this. You don't have that feel. But one thing I can do, if I tend to fish forward, as you can see, the whole head moves on this thing. So if I'm fishing kind of forward at an angle, I have that in my peripheral, and so I don't have to consciously look down to see where I'm pointed. I just can kind of see out of the side of my eye, know where I'm pointed, and then I can just make adjustments without having to look at my pedal, without having to focus on the trolling motor. I just see it on my side vision. Panoptix, excuse me, forward-facing sonar. Sorry, Lowrance and Humminbird, whoever else has got it. I'm not getting into the big debate over whether you should or shouldn't. Most people treat it as it's something sent from God or something straight from the devil. I'm somewhere in between. I use it. I'll probably use it about 15 minutes today. It's towards the end of the day. Some days I use it a bunch. Some days I don't even turn it on. I use it as a tool. I don't rely on it. I don't strictly depend on it. I just don't get addicted to it. I use it as a tool, a resource, but I just don't count on it. Something with my trolling motor, that's one thing about these. Yeah, I come across this on YouTube. If I'm not lazy, I'll try to find a link and put it somewhere, but run across this to attach my cable. I've seen some crazy, horrible things, gaudy things that you can buy, but this right here is basically a carabiner, an eye bolt on my motor, and this is a coiled cable. I think it's for like tying bicycles up. And then I've got my cord running from my transducer on the side of the motor. It coils around with that, so my cable coils around with the coil of that. And so as I deploy this, let me see if I can show this. It extends, it keeps that spring action. Once it's down, I mean, I can go all the way around. It's not that bad. Even my cord on top will wrap just like anything else would, but works really good, really good. I have all the movement that I need. It not the most attractive thing on the front of your boat, but there was an attractive man, so it's really not priority to me. I choose function over fashion any day. All right, so there's the front of the boat. Little thing, working our way back on the boat cleats. I keep a rope tied on each side, go to different boat ramps. Sometimes I tie my boat up on one side or the other, and one other advantage of that, it makes it less likely to stick a rod under there and break. I mean, if you wanted to wrap it full, you can, and that would prevent your rod from going under there. I had a friend break his rod under there, and basically I got blamed for it, but that might help you. Seat. I don't like a sit-down seat, and I don't like the stand-up bicycle seat. This guy here is an adjustable post, and this is actually the bottom, just the bottom section of a regular, not this brand, but a regular fold-down seat. I just took the back off, got that bottom, and it works really good. So here we are. The reason I like this seat is I'm not sitting all the way down, so it makes it awkward to fish and hard to get up. I like to fish standing up, so this makes me able to fish all day and not go home wore completely out. But I'm up enough that if I need to, when I set the hook, I can just hop right up. There's no crawling, no grabbing, no having somebody to help me get out of the seat. But then I'm also bent enough on my knees that most of the weight is off my legs, leaves me where I can run the trolling motor with that, and this is something, once you get used to it, especially like I said, I fish barefoot a lot. Not today though, it's in the 30s. You get used to this, it is so convenient, so nice, it's not strenuous on your legs or back. Back here at the console, this is an old school HDS 7 touchscreen. I use that as almost as much as my forward-facing sonar up there. I really like it. Obviously they each have their place. I'll just put it that way. They both are handy for different things. And then most of you don't even know what this is. Probably an X125, old school, still runs. It black and white, good stuff. If I keep it as a backup, if this one, it hasn't died, but if it ever dies and I'm on a guide trip, I still do have sonar capabilities. Of course, I got my RAM mount for my cell phone right here. I got that because on my main lake that I got on Lake Lure, there for several years, we had to keep up with our engine hours, and some of my gauges are obsolete. So I bought an app, put a Dumalachi on my motor back there that sends information to my phone, and that way I can see fuel usage, hours, distance traveled, etc., and the phone just goes right in there, and that X brace holds it right there where I can see it. Pretty handy. I do have I guess I'm a redneck. I'm something, country bumpkin redneck. I got a power cord run out here. Yes, that is a fluke. It's the end of a fluke stuck on the hot lead to my power, because I do run a bait tank. 99.9999999% of my fishing is artificial, but sometimes when I'm going for fun or colder parts of the year, I do try a little bit of live bait fishing, and so I've got that cord that I can hook up to my bait tank. It comes out somewhere. Got my cord to my bait tank there, that I just plug that right up, and then I can also plug up a bilge pump to pump water in and out of my bait tank. I should have cleaned my boat. See, I ate a delicious biscuit this morning. Back of the boat, got two Cannon downriggers. I do multi-species fishing, so I fish, my motto is muskie to brim and almost anything that swims. So I might be fishing for yellow perch and bluegill and everything up to muskie, all different kinds of fishing. And these things are small. I got them on these swivels so I can turn them out. Got rod holder mounts up here and on my rails, and then I can swing those to the side, use them, swing them back. And if I'm going to be doing a bunch of springtime fishing, these are on the quick remove bases. I can just slide the whole thing out. And when you're mounting your sonars, especially the bigger ones, 7 inches and on up, don't skimp. I have put little bitty baby mounts on these things, and it's awful. This is a 2-inch Ram ball mount, really nice. Oh, let me hop back up here real quick. Talking about Ram mounts, you'll notice I've got my forward-facing sonar. I think that's a 12-inch rise. Trust me, folks, the higher you can get that guy. I had a 16-inch one, but it was a piece of junk and would just fall over and slam my unit on the deck. But this is a good 2-inch ram mount, or 2-inch ball ram mount. Gets it up. The higher you can get that, the better it is on your neck, easier it is on your day, and you go home feeling better and not needing to go to the chiropractor. Well, I just realized as I was editing this video that I forgot to put all that, what am I supposed to say? Like, subscribe, notifications and stuff. Love for you to do all that, but it's not monetized, so if you don't, I'm not going to be upset. But anyway, if this helps you a little bit, like, subscribe, and notifications and comment. Nice stuff. Nice thing I like about this seat is I'm not seated all the way, but anyway, I can't get anywhere in the boat with it. If they banned them from every boat in the country, I wouldn't cry, but if they let me keep it for the next 20 years, I won't be upset either. I just don't get addicted to it. I'm going to do a retique. A retique. Because I said sitted and retique. Let's just leave that in there. Anyway,